Texas A&M. This is gonna be the best game of the weekend. Who you got?
Mm.
Miami got some men up there. Pause.
Yeah, they do. I'm leaning towards more A&M in this one.
Okay.
I think that there were times where Miami didn't play so well at that point in the season, and I think that will show again. And I think that A&M, they have shown that they can play from behind. Pause,
Yeah.
but but I think that they're just a little bit better than Miami, in my opinion. Like overall as a team.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Miami concerns me the most about them is the quarterback play. Head coach sometimes can get out coached. But they have all the talent
They
all over
do.
their team. Defensively, they're great. Offensively, Malachi Tony, one of the best players in college football. And yeah, just Carson Beck. What version are we gonna get of him? If he can play well, they have a shot against anybody. I think
Yeah.
they're just that talented. But I think the better quarterback in this game will be Marcel Reed,
Mhm.
even though he's very inconsistent and questionable himself. Um, I like this team, this Texas A&M team. Defense is good. Offense, I really like what they got going. I think they'll put up more points, and I trust Marcel Reed to have the better game,
Yeah.
and have some magic. Because I mean, their biggest loss this year. Who did they lose to? I forgot their one loss they had. Um, it was a bad loss, though. I think.
I am a believer in home field advantage, and Miami hasn't played in a stadium of 70,000 plus, I think I saw. So
Damn.
it would be hard for them to it's gonna be hard for them regardless. They have a lot of young guys like Malachi Tony that you just mentioned, and not to say that it'll get to him, but I think that playing in Kyle Stadium or Kyle Field, it's gonna help A&M tremendously.
Oh yeah.
So
And Ruben Bain though, that's somebody that could he'd be a force in this game. He's been dominant all year. Gonna be a challenge for this Texas A&M offensive line to hold up. Sounds like they think they're confident in it. But this is a game that I think will go either way, 50-50. This is gonna be one of the better matchups until we get to the big slugfest
mhm.
into this college football bracket. But I'm gonna lean more with Texas A&M. Like I said, I think Marcel Reed puts up a masterclass performance. 3 passing touchdowns, does it with his legs too as well, and they have the firepower and they put up a better performance while Carson Beck struggles in this one. I'm not a big Carson Beck believer.
I'm
He
not
had
either.
me he had me believing in the beginning start of the season, but then just a couple stinker performances. Louisville, that loss, SMU, like there was just some games where he
Yeah.
played really bad. So I think this stage might be too big for my guy. What would you say for a score prediction for this one?
I'm gonna go A&M 31, Miami 17.
Okay. I think A&M puts up 30 points. I'd say probably 30-21. I think Miami's creeps up a little bit behind them towards the end of the game, makes it a little closer than it actually was type. So, yeah, I got Texas A&M in this one. We both got Texas A&M. Now, the last two games, Ole Miss versus Tulane, James Madison in Oregon.
You know who I
What are
got.
your
I don't
thoughts
even
on
think
these?
I have to say. I'm going with Oregon and
Ole Miss,
Ole
yeah.
Miss. Yeah, thank you.
Lane Kiffin, I mean, maybe Tulane has a shot. Maybe
That's
they
the only
can
coach that
sneak.
left though. Without Lane Kiffin, I still think Ole Miss will pull it out.
I know Trinidad Chamberlain, bro. He's a dog, bro.
Dog,
I hope he goes to LSU.
man, that would be crazy. And what's crazy is he came from he's a D2 guy.
I know, yeah.
And this is a little off topic, but the quarterback at the school he came from has better stats than he did when he was there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I
That's fucking
mean,
crazy. He went to the SEC and he was like one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC for a little bit of time down there at Ole Miss, playing really well. So I think he'll play well enough to win this game. But I'm gonna give Tulane a little benefit of the doubt, a little bit of like room for them to make it a little competitive. I'm
yeah,
talking like two
yeah.
possession, two possession game type for a little bit of this game, and then Ole
Mhm.
Miss pulls away.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like they didn't fuck with Lane Kiffin anyway. So this team is. I don't know how far Ole Miss will go though. That's my thing. I
I
think
mean, I
next
think
matchup
the furthest they'll get in my opinion is or that I can see is second round.
they would have to face Georgia. So
Oof. Yeah, no, they're not getting past Georgia.
I don't think so either. That's a really bad matchup, and I think Ole Miss, they have the talent on this team. They have a really good team. Kwan Lacey's phenomenal running back. They have a decent defense, so I think they'll pull away from Tulane. My brother, I don't know what's over, bro. Talking about Tulane gonna win it all and
Yeah,
shit.
I think
I'm not buying in the hype.
he's looking for a Cinderella run out of
Yeah,
one of the two underdog teams.
I'm not buying in the hype with them, but James Madison versus Oregon, that's an interesting matchup because Wayne Knight for James Madison, he's a dog. But Oregon has one of the best run defenses in college football. So,
Yeah,
and
and
they can run the ball at a high level.
yeah, and they're getting Evan Stewart back.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that offense to be explosive, electric. I think that if you ask me that score prediction for that game, I'm gonna say like Oregon's definitely gonna be north of 40.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like it'll be like one of the first round games from last year. If you remember, there was a bunch of blowouts in
Oh,
last year's
yeah.
playoff.
Tennessee got blew the fuck out. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee,
Uh,
SMU. Um, there were
that
a
game
couple
was bad.
blowouts. Yeah, so I'd say like Oregon 42 to honestly like 20 maybe.
I like Oregon though this year. I think this is a team I would think that has a shot until they have to face like Indiana. I think they could go pretty far. They got Texas Tech. The winner of this game has Texas Tech. I
Yep.
think Texas Tech has a great defense, but I like Oregon's firepower. Dante
Mhm.
Moore over Texas Tech's quarterback. I think they have enough talent, especially if they're getting guys healthier too. Their
Oh yeah.
tight end is a demigod and shit. And their run game's phenomenal. Their pass defense, their run defense is great. So I think Oregon has a shot to make it pretty far in this college football playoff.
I do too. And what helps them is that Dante Moore, in my opinion, is the most talented quarterback in the playoff.
I think so too. Yeah,
Yeah, he's really good, and I think that that will propel them in situations where, like, when they eventually go up against Texas Tech, they're gonna need him to ball out and have one of his best games all year. And same when they get past, or if they get past Texas Tech and have to go against Indiana, like,
that's gonna be a good game though.
yeah,
Winner goes to the national championship game. Hey, everything runs through the Big Ten then.
there you go, there you go.
But I think Oregon's gonna clap James Madison. I think Wayne Knight will put up a couple touchdowns though, because I think he's a baller. And then Tulane and Ole Miss, I think it'll be closer than people expect, but I still think it'll be a blowout. Let's get into further predictions for this bracket for this playoffs. Who do you have winning it all? I think this is a clear answer though.
Clear answer. I will say Ohio State, but it's not going to be easy. I
No,
don't
it's
think it's going
not.
to be easy at all. To be honest with you, Georgia worries me a little bit only because their front, their defensive front is ridiculous, and I think that
Yes.
all they have to do is put pressure on Julian Sand, just like Indiana did in the Big Ten championship, and that'll definitely make it hard on us. But at the end of the day, our defense is way too good. I think it'll
I
overwhelm
know.
Georgia.
I'm
Our defense is
surprised
too
Mendoza
fast.
played that well against
Yeah,
still threw a pick, but like he was able to find some success. And yeah, Ohio State's defense could beat some NFL teams. They
yeah,
could beat up on some teams.
for sure. And I think that losing to Indiana will help us out, similar to last year when we lost to Michigan. And with the defensive coordinator like Patricia, like I think we're gonna figure out everything we need to heading into the playoffs. So I'm like I said, Georgia worries me a little bit, but I think we'll be good because of our defense and the coaching staff on defense. So
That's going to be a tough ass matchup. But
mhm.
on the side of bracket that Ohio State is on, you got to face Miami or Texas A&M, and that's not going to be. You're not going to blow out those teams. I don't
No.
think it's going to be a close game. You might win by maybe 2 possessions at the end.
Mhm.
Julian Sand versus Carson Beck, Marcel Reed. I don't know.
And like I said, I have A&M beating Miami, but that would be the Cotton Bowl once they play Ohio State, and that's in Texas. So I mean,
Damn.
might be tough. It might A&M might have the home field advantage for that one, but we'll see.
And then Georgia would face off against Ole Miss again. Ohio State, though, I think it's in place for them. The playmakers, they're going to need Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, those guys, to dominate their matchups. Bo Jackson at the running back position, they're going to need him to be elite to help take off the pressure off Julian Sand. He's been great all year, but I feel like Ohio State's had a favorable schedule this year. I mean, their tough games was Penn State, Penn State was cheeks at that moment. Michigan, Bryce Underwood, you know, and the
Yeah.
freaky ass coach. They had some luck of the draw this season.
Yeah, for sure.
Indiana too, testing them. That was the perfect moment for them to lose. So
Mhm.
before the college football playoff and not, lose out on the college football championship, the national championship. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for them to get back because you gotta go through Miami, through Texas and A&M, and you gotta go through Georgia, and then you gotta go against Indiana probably again. So this would be one of the better like championship runs for the Buckeyes if they could pull it off.
For sure. Since not last season, obviously, but the 2014 season when we had to play Alabama, Oregon in the national championship,
Yeah.
that was even though that was a 14 playoff, that was a collision course for sure.
Uh, that's crazy. A really good Oregon team. Marcus Mariota too. No, at that point,
Yeah.
it's crazy. The Lord going back, bro's like 30 something now. But yeah, this would be a tough run. Out of these teams, though, who do you think gives Ohio State the toughest chance, toughest battle? Georgia, probably, right?
Georgia or Indiana, but I'm gonna lean more towards Georgia because I think that even though yes, Indiana beat us already, but I think that Georgia matches against Ohio State better than anybody does. Because if you really look at the Big Ten championship game, it came down to two plays. It was the missed field goal, and
Mhm.
I hate that. And we did it against Michigan. I hate that we try to get Julian Sand QB sneaks on these fourth downs. Like he's not that kind of quarterback. And it didn't work
No,
against
he's not.
Michigan. I don't know why we tried it again, but at least put like Keen Holtz in there, a backup quarterback, or go Wildcat formation. But I don't know.
How much trust, in your opinion, do you have in Julian Sand
I
to
trust him. I mean,
lead this team to the championship?
I trust him. I believe he's better than Will Howard was last year. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you can say we had a favorable schedule, but I think throwing 78, 79, 80% on all year, like that's hard to do even against.
One of the highest in college football, damn near history.
Yeah, yeah. That's hard to do, like against anybody. Even throwing on air, it's hard to do that at times. So I think that him putting the ball where it needs to be, giving it to our playmakers, that's all he has to do. And I feel like I've been saying that the past few years when it comes to Ohio State. Just get the ball in the playmakers' hands, let them be who they are, and that's really all we need.
The rest will play out. Yeah, I mean, Julian saying, "Oh yeah, all he has to do is take care of the football. Be cool under pressure, hand the ball off to Bo Jackson, get the ball to Jeremiah Smith, those guys, and the rest will play out for real."
Yeah.
And defensively, you don't have to worry about the defense. They're gonna give you opportunity to win the
Mhm.
football game. They're gonna
Every
keep you
time.
in striking distance. So yeah, Ohio State. Hopefully, for your sake, things play out. Hopefully, they get out of this gauntlet. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.